Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Don't be late for court. Ladarius Devontae Thomas, age 21, of Memphis, Tennessee, failed to appear at the appointed time Monday for arraignment in 8th Judicial District Court here in Hopkins County. Thomas is charged with money laundering, more than $2,500 but less than $30,000, as in a March 25, 2017 arrest. When he did appear Monday, he was arrested and placed in Hopkins County Jail. His bond is now set at $30,000, twice what it was. A 32-year-old Como man was charged with theft of property over $2,500 but less than $30,000 when he was found in possession of a mule ATV reported stolen Monday. Corporal Todd Evans and investigator Dennis Finley found the property on County Road 560 in Winsboro. Behind the house where the man lived, he had placed the ATV. Isaac Terrell Dotson was living in the house, and Dotson admitted taking the property, said that he did not have permission to have it. He did say that he was planning to surprise the owner of the ATV by fixing the motor. Dodson's in Hopkins County Jail at this time. Hopkins County Fire Chief Andy Inslee invited the public to observe an honor procession on Tuesday, May 23rd, during the noon hour or near the noon hour. The procession was to honor Hopkins County paramedic and field training officer Bobby Don Shelton II. Shelton died at his home Sunday, May 21st. His body was being returned from the medical examiner's office to a Winsboro funeral home for arrangements. Approximately 200 citizens of Sulphur Springs arrived early Monday evening at the Hopkins County Civic Center to discuss the comprehensive plan for the city. Ian Lockwood of Tool Design Group is leading a 4-person team working with city staff and residents in developing the plan that will replace a 20-year-old plan that, according to City Manager Mark Maxwell, is now outdated due to growth in the city. Lockwood, who designed Main Street, Conley Street, and Celebration Plaza, told those present that his team would spend Tuesday through Thursday gathering information and developing preliminary plans, and would later, his target date in July, submit a draft for review and change, and then later submit a final comprehensive plan.
Minutes, just to see what's going on, look over our shoulder, ask us a question. You don't have to come at 4 because we can't really handle 100 people coming at the same time. So come anytime you like, between 4 and 7 on those 2 days, and provide any more input you want. And then on Thursday, we'll be coming back and doing an explanation of all of our start ideas, and then we'll get some more feedback to make sure we're on the right track. And then we'll go and write a draft report, get some feedback on the draft report, and then we'll write our final report. So that's the schedule. And so there's all kinds of things happening now. So much so that you rebranded your city from great parks, great people, to the celebration city, which is pretty exciting. And then there's other ideas coming. These are ideas that are floating around the community, perhaps some development around the lake up by the airport, maybe some airport industrial land, help create more of a job base. There's some really cool ideas people are talking about stormwater reuse and wastewater reuse. I think Sulphur Springs is one of those cities in Texas that's really far ahead in terms of its thinking on utilities and public works and water. And then the city's been gifted a 5,000-acre park just to the southeast, which is really exciting because just think of what you can do with a 5,000-acre park. It's almost as big as the city itself. And there's a picture of part of the park. It was an old coal mine, and that's getting, the coal people restore the landscape. But there's a beautiful lake with the closest thing to a mountain you're going to find anywhere near here. And so they'll be sculpting that to create some beach areas, some activity areas, some hills maybe for some BMX bike riding, some trails, campground, volleyball courts, these sorts of things. It could be a really exciting amenity to the city, and it's really quite close to the city, just to the southeast. And then there was a suggestion about thinking about what to do with the frontage roads along the highway. How can we make them more inviting and less, it looks like Nowhere USA or Anywhere USA when you go along there with all the national chains. Maybe there's something there we could do to make that area look nicer. And then zooming in a little closer, there's 5 sort of major approaches into the city. Houston Street, Main, Church, College, and the sort of Oak Gilmer Broadway combo. And the idea is to create a great entry sequence. So when people come from elsewhere, they start to feel the image of the city, once they get onto any one of these streets as they come into the city. And then there's some smaller projects like what to do with the old Houston School area. And then there's a fantastic trail plan being conceived. You've already built a great number of them in the west of town around your parks. The idea is to connect them together and to connect them to downtown, maybe connect them to the airport, and then perhaps even connect them through downtown, down Oak and Gilmore, and down maybe Martin Luther King all the way to the new park to the southeast. And with this trail network, you could get everywhere in town comfortably on your bicycle.
Tuesday morning, City Manager Mark Maxwell sat down with KSST News to review the event. Maxwell said it was everything he hoped it would be and more.
Everything I had hoped it would be and more. We had a great turnout, a lot of public participation, a lot of great values and ideas put forward. It was a great start to the process.
Were you surprised by the turnout?
I was. We've done this twice before, and we had 100, 120 maybe show up in the past, and we bought food for 200. And the day of the event, I began to question whether I had purchased enough food because a lot of people told me, "See you at tonight's meeting," and as it turned out, it worked out, but barely. There was very little food left over. We had, I think, close to 200.
What do you think attracted so many people this time?
I don't know. I suspect that it has something to do with the fact that they'd participated before and something came of it. That their ideas were taken into consideration and they became something physical, something real.
Do you think that people are buying into the process of what the city is now doing by their participation?
Well, if it's true that people vote with their feet, I would say so. They showed up, and they didn't just sit there. I mean, they participated. And the planners were talking to me last night about the participation they see in other cities, even much larger cities, and they're usually hopeful to see 30 or 40 people. And they've had gatherings of 200 to 300 people before, twice before, one of them told me, but in both cases they were there because they were angry about something. And to see this many people that just showed up because they want to participate in the process is just thrilling for a city manager.
If you mentioned people who are angry about things who show up and so forth, as you look at the crowd that was there, what kind of percentage do you put with those who are favoring what's going on, those who are excited about what's going on, and those who are not?
Yeah, I'd say nearly unanimously in the "hey, we love where it's going" crowd, and let's do more of it.
What did you hear coming out of this as it relates to some changes?
There seemed to be several recurring things. We want to preserve our small town feel. We want to preserve our history and the historic feel of our buildings was two of the recurring ones. We want to beautify. We want to do something about the entrances into our city, that they're not very impressive. Oh gosh, there were so many more, and they're all written down, and in fact they're hanging up on the walls inside the council chambers now, where the planners are in there. At the moment they're meeting with the utilities group, and they'll be meeting with other specialized groups, airport and parks and transportation and whatnot, all throughout the day.
Meeting with these various groups gives them a feel for what can or cannot be done at this time?
And what needs to be done, where problems are, what limitations are. It's just, there's a lot of information they need to receive.
Suggestions that were made last evening, what stands out in your mind from those suggestions?
There were a couple of real concrete things that came out. People want to do something about signs. They want to put utilities underground. They want more sidewalks. And we heard that several times. So for those of your viewers who weren't there, there was a large piece of paper larger than this on every table, and they were asked 4 questions. What are your values? What do you want to preserve? What do you want to change? And what are we missing? And then not all of the tables, but I think six of them were given the opportunity to stand up before the crowd, and we kept hearing those things. And from talking to some people at the other tables, it sounds like that was a recurring thing.
We all remember when Royce City first began to see growth coming to them.
Yeah.
They were very unprepared for that. Do you feel like these steps that Silver Springs is taking is going to bridge some of those difficulties that they had in Royce City?
It's funny you should ask me that question. I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and my point was, when it hits us, we will be very prepared, and we'll say, great, welcome to town. This is where you can go, and this is what it's going to look like when you're here, and you'll be a welcome part of our community. We'll be completely ready for it when it happens.
That's what you're going to do with this comprehensive plan?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of discussion about filling in the gaps, some areas undeveloped.
Infill development.
Infill.
Yeah, as opposed to just let's go out another layer and build, because ultimately if that's what you do, it's called urban sprawl, it's unsustainable. You have so many miles of roads and water and sewer and so little people and tax revenue, frankly, to support it. You can't do it, and it eventually you collapse under it. And so, and if you take a look at an aerial map of the city, there is a lot of places for infill development. And I'm not just talking about a big tract of 100 acres somewhere, although we have that as well within the city limits, but there are lots of single lots. Just walk the area between City Hall and Buford Park, or just east of town, or just south or north. There's a lot of opportunity for infill development, and we need to make that one of our priorities, frankly. Progress
Takes money and time and energy. In speaking with the EDC last night, I was told that there's some projects on the table right now that if all of them fall into place, there's not going to be enough money to be able to bring them in the way we want to bring them in. What do we do to overcome that?
So that's what we call a high quality problem. You've got so many businesses here that you're running out of resources to incent them. That's the kind of problems we love to have. Of course, when that happens, it's a virtuous spiral. The industries come in, the economy grows, revenues grow, and you do it again. But the thing about, and I'm glad you mentioned it, the thing about having a comprehensive long-range plan is, there are lots of identified projects, and there's certainly not money to run out and do them all, right? It's a plan. And in the plan, a few things happen. Number one, you recognize the opportunity when it arises. And just as importantly, you recognize what is not an opportunity when it arises. And there will be opportunities to complete this project and that project. And also, since we know what the plan is, we can prevent something from happening that would stop that part of the plan. And so, the plan is a touchstone against which we will measure all decisions, and eventually we get there. And so it's going to be the kind of a document that won't be sitting on that shelf. It'll be sitting right here. It'll be on my desk, and it'll be on the community development director's desk, and really all of our department heads, because we will refer to it every day.
So this becomes the guide stone for all of the processes the city's going to follow.
Yes.
Let's talk
It's
about
hugely important.
Let's talk about the continuing opportunity that people have to be involved in this process tonight.
Okay, so last night was the single biggest opportunity to be involved in. It was the beginning of the process, but the process continues through Thursday. So today, right now, they're downstairs meeting with utilities, and then they'll meet with airport, and then they'll meet with transportation specialists and parks, and it's kind of a specialty day today. And then tonight, they have what they call open studio, 4 to 7. You don't have to show up at 4. You don't have to stay till 7. It's kind of like an open house. Just show up anytime between 4 and 7. Sit at the table with the planners, ask questions, make recommendations, tell them your ideas, and then do it again tomorrow night, 4 to 7. And then Thursday night at 7 o'clock, there will be a wrap-up where they will present their starter ideas, and then they will go back and work on a draft.
Now, they're going to work on a draft and come back in July.
They're going to work on a draft and come back. I don't know when yet. And then, but that'll be I don't think they'll physically come back. I think they'll send us a draft, and we'll have public comment on the draft. And then they'll go back and they'll write a final copy. I say final. We'll most likely be back in a year or two, because it would be arrogant to think that in 1 week we got it, right? 1 week we're going to have a really good start, and after a year or two of saying, ooh, we didn't think about that, or ooh, this doesn't look like it's going to fit quite the way we thought. So we come back after a couple of years, we make adjustments, and then probably continue to do that.
A city is almost like an organism. It has a life that continues its process. And do you feel like that's what this comprehensive plan is going to be, is kind of
a living document? Absolutely. It needs to be. And anybody that's done it successfully will tell you that that is the case.
It's almost time for the start of the summer reading program at Sulphur Springs Public Library. This year's theme is Knights and Princesses, and the kickoff event is June 7th and June 8th. So pick up your schedule at the library and start reading.
I have different dates, actually, but the big kickoff will be June 8th. That's Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
That'll be the evening big kickoff for summer reading program.
What will we do at the big kickoff?
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to have registration and a petting zoo. Dairy Queen is going to come and do face painting and hand coupons. We'll have food. We'll have our summer reading program prize bags with the new reading logs in it. That's the first day the reading logs will be released. And there'll be a chance to have a photo opportunity with Belle from Beauty and the Beast and Shining Star Productions, and Smiley the Shark from Splash Kingdom.
Okay. Well, you have really got some plans made for the kids. You know, kids love to go to the library. They get to play Minecraft. They get to find books, get on the computer, have their own special children's room there.
They do.
And there's a teen area.
Yes. Love the teens. The Minecraft, actually, we play in the teen area because it's that kind of in-between stage between child and adolescents.
Well, let's pretend like we don't know anything about the children's aspect of the library. So just sort of start us off with it.
Absolutely. There's when you come into the library, if you look to your right, there's a youth services area, and that handles all aspects of juvenile books and audio books, DVDs, paperbacks, graphic novels, nonfiction, fiction, easy readers. Oh, the kids love the easy readers. They're great to get started reading. And we also have the story time room over there too. So we get a little bit noisy over there, but it doesn't bother the other side of the library. So,
and story time doesn't go on every day.
No, not every day. Not every day. We have some special story times this summer. There's lots of opportunities. Story time we've got every Tuesday beginning June the 13th at 10:30 in the morning, every Tuesday through August the 1st, and every other Thursday at 6 p.m.
Oh, good.
For those moms at work, want a little downtime at the end of the day, starting June 22nd, every other Thursday through August the 3rd.
That is so handy.
I'm so excited. It's not just for young children. This is not just for 3-year-olds. This is for all ages. During the school year, we do a preschool story time, but this is not that.
Okay.
So this is, bring all the kids.
And you'll have guest storytellers?
Yes, all kinds of surprise guests throughout the summer.
Well, let's go back to Minecraft, because I have a grandson that's just over the moon about it. And I don't know what it is that they do on Minecraft, but they just can't wait to get on there.
They are. It's crazy. Minecraft is a virtual Lego game, if that helps at all. It's a game where players create their own worlds and experiences, and Minecraft focuses on creatively building and exploring, and encourages problem solving, planning, and organization skills. You can't just build a building without plans, right?
True.
And that's really what Minecraft is. You just build with blocks on the computer.
So it's sort of a strategy, analyze what you want to do, a strategy to get it accomplished.
Definitely. So we actually are going to have a summer building contest for our Minecraft participants. We're going to go every Tuesday from 3 to 6 p.m. through August the 1st. It's going on now. We have continued, but it's going to begin the 6th of June.
Okay.
Is when we will begin our summer building contest, and there will be prizes. We will build something yet to be announced.
Okay.
And at the end of the summer, we will bring a judge in to judge each child's
Creation.
completed project. Yes.
Well, I like the anticipation factor that you work into. You go to the library one time and you'll see a little sign that we're going to do this on a certain time. Be sure and be back and find out what it is.
Right.
Exactly. And it brings you back again and again to
Yeah, please come back. That's our big thing. If you attend story time regularly, you'll know what's coming up the next week. So we're going to kind of unveil week by week what we've got going on for the next week.
And I can tell that you really love your job just by the way you talk about these programs that you have launched. And now for our summer reading program, Knights and Princesses is the theme this year.
Yes. Now, I know you might have heard other libraries. There's a nationwide summer reading program, and they called Create and Build. And it was really difficult to plan around that theme, but it turns out we are partnering with not only Splash Kingdom, but Medieval Times. And I thought, what a great partnership. So if any of the kids remember last summer when they turned in a reading log, they not only got their prize, but they got to sign their name on a little jellyfish because our theme was Finding Dory. And so we had a place in the middle foyer where they could put their little jellyfish in an under the sea scene. And it was a really big hit. I mean, by the end of the summer, the scene was filled with jellyfish of kids that had completed reading logs. It was very exciting. So we're playing on that. We've got a castle and a dragon, and they're going to have a little piece to sign their name when they've finished a reading log to put up on the castle. So a little bit bigger and better this year.
Okay, it sounds very well planned. I love to go to the library, and I know that a lot of older people do, working people do,
yes,
young people do, and kids. Well,
yes,
kids love to go to the library.
Yes.
But this starts them on kind of a lifelong reason to go.
It does. There's lots of reasons to go. You definitely want you know, a love of reading and books is one of the most precious gifts parents can give to their children. I mean, my dad, you know, instilled a love of reading. I literally get up in the morning and I am looking forward to what's going to happen today at the library every day.
I love that. Because it's yes, we need to be quiet. I have seen a little gauge thing on the wall there, or on a board.
Yes.
The noise level?
The noise level, that's exactly right. You know, I found when the genealogy moved into my large meeting room, I wasn't sure where I was going to put programs, because I think programs are still important. Maybe not as important as they have been, but adults don't want to go in the kids' programming area for talks or presentations. It's a lovely, huge space library. And so I thought, you know, if I just shift some things around, I think we can do it within the library. And I thought it would be fair to let my computer users know that during 2 hours, we're going to have a program that's going to be kind of loud in the library. Otherwise, I just have normal conversation level. You know, in this digital day and age, many people might have issues on the computer and they need to talk to customer service while they're on the computer. And I don't shush people like that are working on stuff like that. I don't prefer people to have just full personal conversations,
right,
loud conversations in the middle of the library, but in a quiet, you know, customer service type oriented conversation is okay. And so there's a little lull of conversation pretty steady in there, but it's usually not to the point that it's disturbing.
What if parents need help keeping the kids going into what we call summer slide?
Oh.
Bring them to the library?
Bring them to the library. I mean, you know, we have 3 window seats, and they're padded, and they're sunshiny, and they're a little warm, not too hot. And you know what a great place just to snuggle up. You're not at home. You don't have the phone ringing or wash that needs to be done. You're just snuggled up, and y'all can read together. I love those window seats.
That is lovely, looking out on North Davis.
Exactly.
Pretty.
And sometimes you get to see a fire truck go by.
Well, speaking of family and reading together, what are the family fun dates you have planned?
Oh, okay. That is after summer reading program is over.
Okay.
So our summer reading program ends on August the 4th. Beauty and the Beast by Shining Star Productions will be going on at Sulphur Springs High School Auditorium. And that will be the weekend of Friday, August 11th through Sunday, August 13th.
Okay.
So those tickets are $10 in advance, and we actually are selling those tickets.
Okay, so there's plenty of time to find out more about that and make plans.
Plenty. And also, if you don't know yet, there's an eclipse, a real eclipse that's going to happen Monday, August 21st. And it's in the middle of the day. The maximum viewing will be at 1:13 p.m. to 2:42 p.m. So I invite you to come read about eclipses this summer at the library and enjoy lunch and viewing that eclipse down there on the square with some eclipse viewing glasses.
Right, the proper equipment. Well,
So family fun.
yeah, looks like an exciting summer, an interesting summer, and memorable too. So let's don't miss the kickoff date and registration for the summer reading program.
Yes, the kickoff date again will be June 8th, and that's our from 6 p.m. That's our after work big kickoff. Now, keep in mind the day before we've got a pre-kickoff, June 7th at 10:30. It's a story time, and that's when Medieval Times will come and talk to us about their reading program. And we're going to get, they haven't promised yet, we're going to get either a king, a knight, a princess, or a falconer to come. One of those will come and do story time for us.
Wow.
And that's June 7th, right before our real official kickoff at 10:30 in the morning, Wednesday, June 7th.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
3 two-man teams represented Sulphur Springs High School at the Texas High School Bass Association State Fishing Tournament this past weekend on Lake Ray Roberts. We find out how they did from high school fishing coach Norman Sanders.
I had one two-man team, Sam Scott and Hagan Hunt, who came in 19th place. They were in the money to the tune of about $1,000 apiece in scholarship money and some other prizes. So they did real well. The other two teams were back a ways. One of them was like 36th, 37th, and then the other one was back about halfway back in the field of about 230 boats or teams.
That's kind of the way fishing is. Sometimes they're biting and sometimes not. Huh?
Yes, sir. Sometimes it's a grind, as we call it, and sometimes it's really easy.
Uh-huh. Did they talk a little bit about what it was like or how much they enjoyed it? And
Oh, they had a good time. They had a real good time. We always have a meeting before the tournament starts on Friday night, and there was over 400 people at that meeting. So boat captains and the participants, the team members and family members, they had a good time.
Yeah. How was the weather for 2 days of fishing?
I believe Saturday the weather was pretty bad. I think one team even had some issues with some lightning, from what I understand from the president of the Texas High School Bass Association. And there was some bad weather, but they got through it.
Yeah. What's the outlook for the fishing team? I guess you're losing a lot of these good senior guys, but I'm sure there'll be others ready to step up, right?
It happens every year.
Yeah.
You lose a few, and we'll get by.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure there'll be some good ones coming up.
Yeah. You take them to state every year, so they keep stepping
Yes, sir.
up.
We have not missed yet, so hopefully we won't break that record.
All right. Encourage anybody that likes to fish or maybe even thinks they would to join up.
Yes, sir. They can join up. We'll be opening back up for business. We'll take a couple of months off, and we'll be opening back up for business in the fall.
You still got good numbers, middle school participation?
I have not had my middle school club for a while now. It just got, once the high school club started growing, I just couldn't keep up with the middle school bunch, and I had to kind of let something go, and I had to let that kind of go by the boards.
Is anybody else doing that, or?
No.
So it's just kind of.
I would like to see it start up again, but it's pretty labor intensive.
Yeah. It's a really kind of totally different thing with bank fishing compared
Yes.
to boat fishing.
Yes, you have to find some place for them to fish. You have to transport them to that spot, and it just got to be too much with basically two different clubs.
But meanwhile, the good news is, though, the high school club is really
It's doing well. It's doing well.
You still have females interested in?
I had several year before last, and I had one this year, and hopefully we'll have a few more this next year.
Certainly, they're welcome, and you'd like to see them, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And normally, they're better fishermen than the guys. So,
how about that? Huh? Well, I've heard of a lot of ladies that like to fish. So
patience is a virtue, and they have it
Yeah.
where some of the guys just don't.
Just a little impatient, huh? All right. Well, the other two teams were made up of Braden Kaczynska and Matt Reynolds, and also Sloan McGahee and Skylar Long, all seniors.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.